What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Welcome, everybody. For those of you watching us live in the Zoom room or on Facebook, welcome. It's a beautiful, sacred Sunday. And I always want to acknowledge those of you watching the replay, the recording. We're seeing more and more people are going to our YouTube channel and watching us. So whether you're watching us live or on the recording, welcome. It's going to be a beautiful and a really opportunity for us to learn more about how we can heal from the inside out. Of course, it's our third and final show of the weekend. And all weekend long, I've had the joy of collaborating with Teresa Collins from Global Coherence Pulse and an amazing woman, Jennifer Hill. They're both with us. You're going to meet them. If you are watching on Facebook or on YouTube, come on into our Zoom room. It's a lot easier for us to interact with you, and we've got some remarkable healers, and we're going to be asking questions and learning how we can really heal ourselves, and we'll be able to get into some specifics. So it's easier to get your questions if you're in the Zoom room, and it's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and register. And boom, you're going to get links to all of our shows. We do a show every Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning, and also special events. So come on in and join us. All right, and for all of our friends that are in the Zoom room, those of you that are regulars, you know what to do. Give us a chat. Let us know where you're from. And likewise, all the new people coming in, let us know where you are from geographically. And also let us know, what are your thoughts, comments, questions about healing from the inside out. I am now going to bring on Teresa Collins, who is someone I get to collaborate with every 3 months. She created and runs the Global Coherence Pulse. And Teresa, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce Jennifer and to take it away.
Thanks. I'm just going to bring Jennifer on, add the spotlight. And also I've been kind of going on the gallery view because I love on these things on Friday and on Sunday that we get to be together as a community and we can see your faces. And, you know, I see these names that I see coming on all the time, pulses and other events, Jennifer, that we've done together and that you've done. And it's so lovely to see the faces. So if you're there today on Sunday and you don't mind turning your camera on, it is really nourishing for us to be able to see you and to send our love to you. So I just want to say what a privilege it is to have this whole weekend to explore healing from the inside out, to celebrate the launch of Om Heals. And that was one of the things, Jennifer, we're so excited for you with that. And also, Scott, I just want to say, listening to that opening video, the invitation is for us in these moments to feel what it feels like to be present in the awakening world, right? So we have these opportunities where we're in this vibrational field that we co-create together, and it lets ourselves really trust what's emerging when we're in coherence, when we're supporting each other, and when we're healing from the inside out. So, and I love the music and everything about it. It feels really, really good. And you've been, I've been watching you like do all your back behind the scenes and videos, and you do it beautifully. You really care for the people that you're bringing on, that their messages get out and people can find them. I just really want to acknowledge the beautiful care and, skill and love that you bring to this.
Thank you so much. And you know that music on the opening, that's Kristen Hoffman.
Yeah.
It's a Kristen
Yes, of
song.
course. Of course.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
cried, honestly. I've been a blubbering mess all weekend, and I was like, I'm just gonna start the show with tears because it just the message, Scott, is so deep that we're not alone. So many of us, we've struggled over the last few years, and we've just felt like these silos. And I know that's your passion and purpose too, Teresa, is, to bring these islands of coherence together and to know that no matter where we are emotionally, physically, we have a community. When we connect with our hearts, we could be thousands of miles apart and yet still be just as intimate with one another as if we were hugging each other face to face. So thank you for this space.
And you know what's wonderful? I mean, just already we've got people from British Columbia, North Carolina, the Netherlands, Slovenia, Sweden, Santa Rosa, California, Alabama. I mean, it's really beautiful how global, our community is and how we're connecting with each other from all over the world. Puerto Rico, it's very, very beautiful.
And, before we do our attunement, we're going to really just have this be an experience together today. I just want to touch in, I want to see gallery view. And if you were on the Friday night event with us, where we explored plant medicine, can you put like a little raised hand, those little reactions that you can do so that we can kind of see that? And if you were with us on Saturday on the Pulse in the morning with Shakti Durga, maybe you could raise your hand so we can see, right? So let's carry the energy from if you were there Friday, if you were there Saturday morning, if you were there last night, raise your hand if you were there last night. That was such a beautiful evening as well. And so let's carry all of this beautiful energy and authentic presence and real exploration of what it means to heal from the inside out in the face of what we're facing. Jennifer's COVID, she's here supporting what's happening. Like we're all doing it. We're all showing up for it. So I just wanted to invite us just to bring all of that into our hearts as we enter into our attunement. And Jennifer, I just want to say, if you have any opening words, this has been something that you've really helped put together with these guests and this conversation. And it's been a blessing.
Thank you so much, Teresa, and thank you to each of you who is in this room for whatever part of this journey that you've been with us on. If you're watching at a later time, know that everything happens in divine timing. One of my favorite quotes from a teacher of mine is doing the right thing at the wrong time is still the wrong thing. So trust that no matter where you were, even if you're watching it recorded afterwards, you are dropping in at the exact time that your soul, your body, and your spirit was open and receptive to receive this message. And as we head into this final event of this beautiful weekend of souls who have joined us, thousands and thousands of souls from around the world, of healing from the inside out, I invite you to listen from your heart. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but when we listen from our head, we have a very different experience than when we listen from our heart. So I invite you to open your heart to ask, what is in this for me? What am I meant to receive, and what will serve me today? And to know that whatever you hear, it's meant to be tried on and see if it resonates with you. Just like a coat, we started off this weekend by talking about Batman and his superhero bat belt, that, although he's not superhuman, he is a superhero because of all the remarkable tools that he has, so that should he find himself falling off the edge of a building, free falling, that he can use one of those trusty tools. And the reason that we wanted to close this weekend with this particular show is because we wanted to offer you the tools of energy medicine. We have two incredible practitioners with us today from Om Heals, Nicole Forrest and Marcus Brown, Metaphysical Mark as we call him, and one of my dearest and oldest friends, Mary Jo Lorei, who is an incredible author, personal development trainer. She is literally in the middle of a training helping teens heal. And this is who she is. Her soul is of giving of service. And Nicole so graciously was on the show yesterday and heard that I had COVID. And so she's texting me on WhatsApp. She said, I'm happy to give you a session. And so we squeezed it in, in her morning and my morning beforehand. And I am just so thankful to each and every one of you. And to Khadijih, huge kudos to you. You have just been such a grounding force throughout this weekend. With your beautiful meditations, your voice is just bliss personified. So I'm so grateful that we're able to turn it over to you to once again pull us through as we close this weekend with love and grace.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And thank you to everyone who's joining this morning. So as I dropped into what I wanted to share for our invocation or for our attunement, I really felt called to include an invocation, as this is a sacred Sunday, right? As this is a day to celebrate the blessings of all that we are and the magical powers of Source that move through all of us. So as we go into this attunement, I'm just going to invite you all to gently close your eyes and begin bringing your awareness to your inner body. Letting your breath soften and deepen. And with each breath, noticing how your mind begins to slow down, bringing your awareness into this moment, right here. And as you breathe in this way, deeply and softly, I invite you to bring this breath and your awareness into your heart space. That sacred space in the center of your chest where the soul, the self, resides. Letting each inhale and exhale be just a little deeper than before. Feeling the expanse of your heart and the calmness washing over your body. And if you feel that maybe your mind is still a little busy or you're a little distracted at this hour of the day, just gently observe whatever is there without judgment. And then return your focus to your sacred heart. Call your attention back to that deep breath in your heart space. Feeling the expanse of your heart one more. Feeling the dissolving of any tension or discomfort as you breathe. Feeling fully held in this sacred space in this moment, right now. Relaxing and releasing any tension as you breathe, feeling comforted and safe in this space of your heart. As if with each breath, all boundaries dissolve and you become one with the limitless and formless. And in this expanded state, in this space of our heart, we call on our angels, our ancestors, the wise ones and wisdom keepers who have walked this earth before us. We call on all of those who protect us and surround us in light and love. We ask you to join in this space, to hold the energy of healing at its most high, letting this energy of healing flow through our bodies, releasing and letting go of anything that is no longer serving our greatest good. We call on you to join this space and hold our hearts in a space of safety so we may have the courage to relax even more deeply into this present moment. And taking a moment to breathe deeply into your heart once more, calling on your own angels, your own guides, calling on all those who hold you and keep you safe, and inviting them into this space with us now. And then gently bringing your awareness back into the physical space in which you're in, knowing that you are held, knowing that you are safe, knowing that you are deeply cared for in this time and space. And as you feel ready, and as you feel called, you may gently open your eyes. Come back into this room with all of us and all the energies that surround us now.
I acknowledge you, Khadijih. It's been such an honor to get to be with you in this sacred space all weekend. You just really have this deep way of speaking to the soul. And I think that in doing so is interesting, Khadijah. I noticed when we go into that meditative state, we can often hear things. And the thought that I heard pass through my mind as an observer is, you got this. Just get through this last show. You got this. And then I heard my higher self say, no, that's not what you're committed to. How many of us try to get through it. We try to survive it, whatever the it is, the job we don't like, a physical ailment. And what if we could let go of that old, outdated paradigm of trying to survive or power or get through, and instead, like you so beautifully illustrated right now for us, Khadijih, what if instead we set an intention of beauty, grace, vitality, and embracing and meeting whatever we're experiencing right where it is with acceptance and ease? How might that shift it? And so I invite each of you to look at where in your life, what story or paradigm are you holding on to of I'm just going to power or get through this, and maybe instead play with it, dance with it, and fall in love with and embrace and accept the things that you might be struggling or resisting right now. So that was what I heard as we went through that beautiful opening meditation. Thank you, Khadijih.
Yeah, thank you, Jennifer.
And thank you, Teresa. You are the doula. You and Scott you're like there. You're like, we got this. So I love you so
Got this. We got this, right? It's being held by this community. You know, that's the thing. We come together and we have these pulses or we have these shows, but it's like the community all comes together. And in that field, we're just capable of, you know, sustaining more. Our resilience comes through, not our like, I'm going to get it done, but this natural kind of state of being held together. I wanted to say, you know, Khadijih has so many resources available to anybody who wants to begin to, you know, drop deeper into their meditation practice. And on her YouTube channel, on her website, like it's like she does them every week. And then she in our Islands of Coherence community, and she's starting a 7-day challenge just next week. So if you're like wanting to kind of restart your meditation, or you just want a little communal time, right? Like sometimes we want to meditate in community so that we can drop deeper. So Khadijih, I'm super excited that you just have so many resources for people. And if you go to journeyintothesoul.com, and we'll put that link in the chat, you know, if you're motivated right now, I'm going to join Khadijih because I feel like I really want to go a little deeper in my commitment to a daily practice. So I'm excited you have that to offer. And thank you. Thank you for coming every day and holding the space and creating these spacious opportunities to relax more deeply into our natural state of coherence. So thank you, my dear.
Teresa, I also learned that she's got a link tree, and we didn't really show that over the last couple nights.
No.
But the way to get a lot of her access is to go to linktree/journey into the soul. And oh my gosh, look at all these things that she's got here for us. So I think that a lot of our regulars have been with us all 3 shows and have gotten a chance to really get a beautiful taste of her. Or for those of you just joining now, if you go to linktree/journey into the soul, that's where you can register for the 7-day meditation that's about to start, or any, you know, pull in any of these guided meditations that she's created. So thank you for all those gifts you've given to our community. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you to everyone. And now I'd love to bring up one by one each of our other panelists today. We have 3 incredible panelists: Mary Jo Lorei, who is an author as well as personal development leader, who we're going to start with today, and then I'll introduce you to Nicole and Marcus, and then we'll move into the Q&A portion of the show. I know so many of you have had burning questions that there are going to be shows upon other shows that we're going to have to do around this. And so, Mary Jo, you have been a dear friend of mine we were talking the other day when I saw you in Los Angeles, 20 plus years. It's been incredible. She has been one of my mentors, confidants, and dearest friends. To tell you who this woman is for me, when I went through a divorce a few years ago, this woman came down, and she knows my love language is touch. And not only did she come down to help me pack up the house, she just sat there and just held me and cuddled me and told me it was all going to be okay. And you really just can't ask.
Never underestimate the healing power of the spoon. Packing them and embracing that way, because, yeah, I'm happy to be your big spoon anytime.
I love you, my friend. And so tell us a little bit about the personal development work you're doing. I know you're in the middle of a workshop, which you have graciously stepped away from for this little hour to join us. Talk to us a little bit about your magic you're
It
doing.
was actually a real gift. I just want to say that, and especially as I come in the wake of what you all have been generating all weekend, because I'm in my own other process with teens that I've been catching up on the recordings at night, and just to get to hear all the attunements, to be able to repeat them again and again, and the conversations that have been opened up and the way people are exploring. And I literally, listen to my own guides about doing the both and, or am I half and halving it? And then to hear, I'm working with teens this weekend about empowerment, emotional intelligence, and social intelligence, and them going, well, why not? And like they're so on board with this. They're just so excited that more people are going to find out about what they're learning about this weekend. So it just is. And again, Jen, everywhere you go, you make the world a smaller place because you bring people together so that we all realize we're all in the one neighborhood called the globe. So thank you for that. And thank you to everybody that's been here. Personal development has been a passion of mine personally as a seeker for my whole life. Where it turned from being a seeker to supporting other seekers is an interesting transition for me because it was a real moment of humility of who dare I? Who do I think I am? Kind of thing. And then realizing as a seeker and all of the great teachers that I've had, the same vein runs through, which is we're all just human beings in our process. Nobody has arrived. So anytime we can support each other with our own personal seeking, what a gift, what a privilege, to be a part of that with other human beings. My personal journey is I was attuned as a listener from a young age, both I think as a gift as well as growing up in an alcoholic household, actually. I credit that a lot with how I was able to hear things other people couldn't hear. That turned into then becoming a professional listener because I went from that household into becoming a bartender, professional listener, hairstylist, professional listener, and now I am a workshop facilitator as well as a personal coach, and I lead personal and dynamic group events to just people to hear themselves, because I think that's the most powerful way to heal from the inside out. We have a sense of inner knowing. We really do. And we've not been trained in it in modern culture the way we were born into it because we have a lot more distortion in our current world. So when we can start to hear that inner knowing, which has more power, which has the answers, which is what I love about being a coach, because I'm not expected to have the answers. I'm just a vehicle for other people to find their answers because they've already got them. And that resonance with what you're doing, Jen, this weekend with the healing from the inside out is because there's less to get, more to awaken. And that's really been my work is personal development. So as I'm a seeker, I'm really excited about sharing what I have learned. And my context is very simple. I don't know the way. I know some ways. And if you want to try them on, you can find your way. So when I wrote the book, and Jen, you were such a great advocate for that because it was super clunky. My cart had square wheels for sure, just dunk. I can't believe I'm trying to write a book. It was like I was trying to give birth to a baby at the moment of conception. Like it was just absurd. So what I realized is, somebody said, what if your book's already written? And I thought, well, what do? I help people hear themselves. So I wrote Practical Inspirations, which is I'm an inspiration junkie. I love being inspired. The world, the life is just ripe with it. If we're looking for it, that's what we'll find, as you were speaking about, Jen. So I wrote something to stimulate people into being able to hear themselves, because when you encounter it and you start to hear the voices that arise inside, you listen ever deeply what you've been practicing. So I also do somatic work, so even some of that was part of the book, but it's really for us to connect to the mind, body, spirit coherence, because even our physical body will become the shape of our thoughts and our emotional bodies. So over time, we start to develop this muscle memory, and it's easier to see in the body. Sometimes it's a little more elusive in the mind and in the emotion, and that's where the spirituality work comes in, because even though I theoretically know, I'll see pretty quickly what I've been practicing over time with what keeps reoccurring in my thought patterns, in my emotional patterns, and in my results. So in the work I do, I'm willing to go into any of these domains to have people shine a light for themselves so they can hear themselves. And from there, again, healing from the inside out, knowledge from the inside out, that deep quest that so many people come to me and ask for. I just want to trust my intuition. How do I tell the difference? And not that I wanted it to happen this way in the globe, but COVID amped up people's listening, and sometimes it was unintentional. So what we're hearing right now is that what have we actually been listening to? And COVID stripped away our support structure. Everything got ripped away, and everybody was floundering a little bit, finding out what their infrastructure actually was, because that's where the resiliency was. That was how I was meeting what's coming, and began to see opportunities that, hey, this needs to be stronger. If this is going to keep shifting, where do I find my truth here? Where do I listen here? And in that, what I've been watching and witnessing and been the privilege of being the dueling of the birthing of for people is that ownership and responsibility. I got to start getting clear about what I'm practicing here, because it's out in the world, it's somewhere inside of me. And that's a big part of my commitment to humanity. It doesn't exist out in the world if it's not in me somewhere. It just doesn't. So with compassion and with as much grace and humility as I can muster, I own my own foibles. I stand for the greatness of humanity. And I truly do know every person is in a divine, unlimited power, possibility being that sometimes having a little bit of an effed up human experience, frankly. But if we can be in it together, so that we can hear the truth inside of us and listen then, because when I am owning my own truth, there's room for other people's truths. It's not a competition. Then from there, we again create a neighborhood called the globe, and humanity begins to become what it was destined to be. Thank you.
I just love you. I love you so much, my friend. I think we're all tearing up.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, I love you, Mary Jo. I'm so excited, and we're going to do Q&A here in a moment. And I love the human being that you are, and to have you as my sister, my dearest, dearest friend I've known for almost 20 years now. Thank you for the gift that you are to humanity, and for shining your light so that the rest of us can see the dark places that we didn't know and bring light to that in our own lives. I love you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love
Thank you all, and thanks for tuning in. The fact that this many people are interested in spending their weekends here, that there's Netflix has this few viewers. I'm not making Netflix wrong, but the fact that this many people want to be in front of a screen to grow and heal, yeah, I just feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof. Thank you all.
Well, you are both, let's be clear. So I would love, thank you, Mary Jo, and I would love to now bring on Metaphysical Marcus Brown, who is a beautiful soul inside and out. It was funny when we were trying to determine who our show lineup of guests was going to be this weekend. I was going through a few of the healers, and everybody saw Marcus's page on Om Heals and just said, who is that man with his beautiful spirit? And that's how I felt the moment I met Metaphysical Mark. We were on a show together with a mutual friend of ours, Rev Reg, he is just an incredible spirit who brings people together, and had put on this conference back in October. And the moment I heard Marcus speak, I just said, I need to know this man. And I think I reached out to him on Instagram. He has a huge following there, and said, can we please be friends? Because who Marcus is just an authentic soul inside and out. I'll let him share some of his adversities he overcame, and yet he does it with his beautiful smile, his grace, and his energy. He is literally joining us right now before he's going to hop on a flight in a few hours, and he is just the epitome of strength and love and grace. So Marcus, thank you for being here with us. If you could just share a little bit about yourself before we get into the Q&A section, please.
Yes, Jennifer, thank you again for even having me on, and just to be a part of such great energy this week, and just the panel itself. Mary Jo, thank you for starting us off, because I'm going to piggyback off of so much of what you said based on my own story, because I always say I feel like I've been initiated by spirit since the day I arrived here, because um, growing up, I had a lot of adversities at a very young age and things that I had to overcome alone. But in that aloneness, I knew I was never by myself. So um, at a very young age, I was actually put into foster care at the age of 7. So since 7 years old, I've been going through things that allowed me to build a resilience and a strong foundation within myself. I've always known who I was, because when everything else was going chaotic around me, that was where I found my center. So I was always in a balanced place within myself, communicating with spirit, hearing spirit, and really leaning on spirit to keep me um, balanced in those states. So after that moment of, going through the system and going through a lot of adversities with that, it showed me more about who I am, showed me more about mental resilience, showed me about how you can still be you despite what's going on around you. So with that, it allowed me to stay strong and solid in my foundation within knowing who I am. So aging out of foster care, I ended up actually earning a Division II scholarship to play football, basically on my own. And the thing that I love to tell people was that none of my coaches in high school knew I was in foster care until my senior year, because I never showed it. I never spoke on it. I never wanted anyone to look at me different than anyone else. I didn't want to be babied or anything like that, because I know that everything that I've endured was for a reason. I know that I wouldn't be the man that I am now without that experience. So going through foster care has really allowed me to face any adversity with an optimistic outlook. So I know that we live in this duality plane. So if it's a bad, there has to be a good in there somewhere. And if you take time to actually look at it and objectively view it, then you can find out how to make the good out of those chaotic situations. So I've been really prone and drawn to teaching this, to showing people, to allow people to see that, hey, it's possible for you to be in a situation that you don't want to be in, whether it's life or, circumstances that you may have not have been conscious of that got you in there. You can always move out of it. You can always change, and you can always shift the perception and the attachment that you have to any situation. So that's where I come in with my healing, as well as being an energy healer. It just really allows for me to gain a better footing with the spiritual and the physical. So I end up going to the University of Metaphysics in Sedona to get my bachelor's in metaphysical sciences. I'm an ordained minister in international metaphysical ministries, and I've been doing Reiki/energy healing for the last 2.5 years, all over the world, all virtually. And the biggest question that I get from people is, how are you doing this virtually? So then it allows for me to make that attachment to them in their mind by speaking to them from a very plausible stance of the physical world and understanding the world that we can't see, and putting them together and piecing it to a way that people can really digest it, so then they can start unlocking their own aspects of beliefs and their attachment to beliefs that changes their paradigms and allows for them to see that whatever they want to really be in this world, they can really be it. So that's what I like to offer to the world, honestly, is that if I can make it through, being an orphan, homelessness, just a bunch of things that I had to endure with a smile on my face and always loving energy for others, always making sure that others feel appreciated, love, that they feel all the things that I wish I had felt when I needed it. That's my goal, is to be that for as many people as I can, that God makes and allows for me to be. And that's where I stand on that. And I just want to say thank you guys for everything.
Mark, I'm jumping in for a second. It's the first time I'm meeting you. And first of all, I want to thank you for sharing your story and being with us. I want to acknowledge the power of your hero's journey in this lifetime. And I just want to ask you, what's one tool you can share for anybody who is watching that's not feeling connected to spirit, who's feeling disconnected from spirit, feeling disconnected. Um, some people maybe went through disillusionment from their original religion of choice. Whatever the disillusionments are, some people are in a place where they're not feeling it like you are. And it's beautiful to see the embodiment of love and connection that you clearly are in. Can you give a tip or a tool or practice for someone to get to take a step in that direction?
Yes, definitely. What helped me a lot was taking time alone and really being in nature. Nature showed me so much about myself, about the world, about the correlation between it all. So I always tell people, and I know how cliche it sounds, but I really found God in nature. I found out a lot of the universal laws, the things that I was reading, I was able to really see outside in nature. So being out in nature and spending time alone outside in nature helped me feel that I wasn't alone. I was connecting with trees. I was connecting with birds. I heard the birds in their songs. I heard how they go in unison with everything else. I heard the music of the world. And that was because I was allowed to really sit and take time to myself in meditation, journaling, but having that energy of nature and that rejuvenation. And it really helps bring it down for you. And it's not too overwhelming because your senses aren't too, oversensitized. With just know it's peaceful. You're getting a lot of things. And that's what helped me start anew.
Beautiful. That's such good input, and thank you, Mark. And look forward to hearing more from you in a little bit.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mark. I heart you. I just am so grateful and happy that you're able to be here and share your beautiful energy with us, your healing energy, and really to acknowledge the embodiment of that is. Somebody had posted in the chat just saying, Mark is a beautiful being of love and compassion, great energy to share, and I couldn't agree more. So thank you for that. And we're going to get back to you in a moment for some more questions. And without further ado, I also want to bring on Nicole Forrest. Nicole is another incredible practitioner from om-heals.com. And as a quick testimonial to you, Nicole, I know she hasn't had the time to write the review yet, and we'll keep her name confidential, but the first time that we sent Nicole a referral for Om Heals, the person selected her, and I got a call from the person afterwards, and it's one of those moments where you will always remember exactly where you were. And the person who received the healing from Nicole said, Jen, I want you to know that she transformed my life. She changed not only my life, but the life of my children and the life of their children and their children going forward for generations. You know, this friend and this person who used Om Heals had lost her husband several years ago and had really been in a place of heartache. And Nicole, I just acknowledge you because when she called me, you could hear she was in tears and just saying how her life had been changed thanks to the healing you did. And I know you did a beautiful healing for me right before this to support me with COVID. So such deep gratitude for you and the work you're doing.
I can't believe you're going to make me cry before I even start. That session was, and hi everybody, I'm Nicole. But I think we quite often put healers on a pedestal, right? But quite often we receive just as much as we give. And that session was extremely special for me too, to be able to provide that service. And before I'm jumping on today, I'm listening to Mary Jo. Mary Jo, I am an effing fan. And Mark, I'm listening to you both and I'm like, what else is left for me? Because both of you speaking, I'm just like, yes, 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 for everything. Like, Mark, I want to change my name to Metaphysical Nick now. Because for what Mary Beth was saying, I'm going to start because I just want to, what both of you started, I'm going to continue on. So for what Mary Jo was saying is that most definitely this connection back to self, this is why we're all here, right? This is why we're all here. I'm just going to keep talking because I'm not sure if I'm still on screen. So my name is Nicole. I'm down in Puerto Escondido in Mexico. I'm a spiritual teacher. I also practice Reiki and work with the cosmos, work with your angels and guides. I work with the ascended masters and the beings of light to facilitate all different kinds of healing. So really when people say to me, oh, like, how do you heal people, or how do you initiate healing, or how do you open the door to their healing? It's more about what is coming through for them in the moment, right? So for me, it's more about listening to my guides, my angels, your guides, your angels, and then we work together as a team to facilitate what's going on. So it can be quite busy and a lot of information coming through at once. And for what Mary Jo was saying in regards to the heart, this is the single point of connection, right? We can talk about opening our crowns to the cosmos and extending our third eye. When you want to tap into that consciousness, this is from the heart. The heart is where we used to always communicate, from the single point of light consciousness. And I'm happy to expand on that deeper and ask you, like, if we're talking about dropping into the heart, just close your eyes now and just say to your heart, hi heart, how are you? And wait for the response. And maybe it's a sensation in your body, maybe it's a feeling, maybe your heart responds. The key here is to say it out loud. So when we talk about things like this and connection and channeling and all the rest of it, when I receive messages, what I learned very early on was to speak them out loud. Not only is this confirmation, right, to say, yes, I've received this message and I'm repeating it out loud, but you're also putting that intention, that energy out. And so by speaking to our heart, you may seem like this is uncomfortable, or it might feel funny to you to do so. But by speaking to our heart out loud, you're creating that conversation, you're creating that relationship, you're creating that container with your heart. Hi heart, I see you. And what messages do you have today? And I'm feeling it in my body as my heart activates. And she's like, I'm good, I'm so happy, I'm so proud of you, you know? And so your heart might have a different message for you, but every time I say, thank you, heart, I've heard that and I see you, because I'm letting my heart know I received that message. This is a relationship just like any other that you can build on, where you can check in with your heart at any time. And that was just a little piece around the heart that I wanted to add in. And then when Mark was talking about how he connects, right? I completely agree. Nature, stepping into nature, because in that silence that he speaks of, when we take away background noise, when we take away the busyness of life, when we're sitting with ourselves in true silence, not listening to a guided meditation or anything like that, when we're sitting in nature in true silence, what happens is that silence is cosmos coming into alignment, where you're able to receive a clear channel, a clear message, right? Imagine it like you've been to a concert or you're listening to music and the song finishes. That silence that you hear afterwards, that is where the true healing begins. So going into sound healings, that silence after the sound healing is where your body starts to regenerate, renew, replenish, refresh. It is the silence that we are able to heal ourselves. And most definitely, we are the masters of our own universe. So if you're wanting to open that heart space more and more, it is, how are you speaking to others and yourself? How are you showing love and kindness to others and yourself? You know, we are the masters of our universe, and our thoughts create our reality. I know that Mary Jo was mentioning that before. If I can think it, it exists somewhere. If you can think it, it already exists in the cosmos. It's there. And so you can look at consciousness or conscious thought as masculine, right? Where it's like this linear thought. And then once it's been brought into creation, once it's been brought into matter, this is the feminine aspect. And this is what Mark was talking about in regards to duality, the feminine and the masculine, the hot and the cold. Or, you know, like what he was talking about, good and bad. The difference between them is just varying degrees. You know, there's no separation. Like, where does good finish and bad begin? it doesn't happen, right? It's just varying degrees. So nothing is either good or bad. It just is. It just is, and the varying degrees of that. I honestly wasn't sure what I was going to speak about today, so I let the messages come through. But if I had a final message for the group here, it doesn't matter where you are in the practice. It doesn't matter if this is the first conversation you've heard like this or if you're well along the path. Because I think the others have said it is your practice, and what that looks like for you can be different to the next person. So whatever your rituals or your habits are, honor them because they're yours. So rituals will show you self-love, and habits will show you self-trust. Rituals, whether it's making a beautiful cup of tea or your yoga in the morning or taking your meditation time, this is showing yourself love and giving yourself that container. The habit of doing that daily or every other day or whatever is starting to build your self-trust because you know that you can rely on yourself. So bringing those two together, this is where we can come back to the heart and expand into all areas. I just want to say a big thank you to Jennifer and the team here, because I understand how much it takes to put into this. And I'm honored and humbled to be a part of it too. So thank you so much for everything. And yeah, my name is Nicole and I'm complete.
It's Clubhouse style. Nicole's used to, we do a Clubhouse room every Sunday at 11 a.m. actually about to happen right now in Clubhouse. So that's what you say on Clubhouse. I am XYZ and I'm complete. So if you ever want to join us on Clubhouse on a Sunday at 11 a.m., we do a free Clubhouse room with Om Fields practitioners. And thank you, Nicole. That was just so beautiful. Scott, I know you're monitoring the chat. Did you have a burning question that you'd like to ask?
Yeah, I'd like to I want to really start interacting. So I've got some comments that are coming in from our Zoom room and also from Unify. On Unify, Simone, in response to what Mark had said, beautiful Mama Gaia, she is the greatest healer of all. And then Babs, in response to what we just heard from Nicole, Babs Mason on Unify writes, the cure for the world is to be loving and caring. For those who get it, they will ascend in their thoughts, actions, and deeds. Being loving and kind is the answer to many of the problems afflicting the world, and will bring the changes needed so planet Earth is a better place for humanity. Thank you, Babs. Perfectly stated. And in our own Zoom room, Deaconess Jenny writes, so grateful to be here on this panel this morning. Words cannot express how truly and amazing and profound the event was last night. And then Karima does have a question. How do you bring a client quickly to a presence of being, to their true self, beyond duality? Great question, Karima. Anybody want to tackle that?
I would ask, how close is he to his true presence of self? Because if we're a mirror for who we see in front of us, if you are able to drop in quickly, it is quick for you to connect your client. So it's with your words, it's with your voice, it's with your being, it's with your presence that you are able to drop someone in quickly. I wouldn't be looking to the client to initiate that dropping in quickly. It's from you.
Beautiful.
Most definitely.
I'd like to share a thought, which is when I'm working with clients and I want to bring them into a more centered space, I ask them what they're grateful for in their life, or I'll ask them to share with me a story of when they felt really well loved or really well cared for. And that takes them out of any victim or duality story and into more of a remembrance. And when we remember being really well loved, being real cared for, or when we really drop into gratitude, that helps us to get centered quickly.
Can I piggyback off of both of you guys with that? I agree with both of you in the sense of the practitioner and also the client's resonance with love, with the heart. I tend to work with the heart a lot because, like Nicole said, the heart is everything. That's the battery, that's the generator. And that is where a lot of people don't connect to. So as a practitioner, I make sure that I'm heart open all the time. So even if you are a little bit kind of, closed off, you're going to feel my love. And my love is going to make you feel relaxed in it rather than being defensive of it. So that helps as well. And then letting them work in their heart space as well definitely helps.
And I may be coming at this in a slightly different angle, but I would get curious about the required speed. So when I hear the word quickly, I mean, of course, I want everyone to be in their fullest expression and their deepest sense of self all the time, and as soon as I hear always and ever and never in me, I question, what's my agenda at the current speed? Not because it's bad or wrong, because it's telling me something I care so deeply about that I might be missing what's actually right in front of me. So when I think about quickly, how do I measure quickly? So the openness, like Marcus was just saying, and Scott, you as well, like to get somebody into that glowing self. And then sometimes, and again, I come from more of a coaching model, but I work with energy a lot as well, is sometimes I just got to let them blow out the distortion.
Yeah.
Like give a microphone to everything that's between you and who you truly are right now. Like just go, just have them move their body, jump up and down, sing it out, put on rap music, like whatever will have that. And then let's just see what's there after it's emptied out.
Beautiful. One of my little phrases is that venting is natural. It's perfectly human. Venting is like passing gas. It's stinky and we all do it.
And necessary to live.
Amen to that.
Yeah, I have to say I had oh, go ahead. Somebody had a comment.
No, I was just saying I call it a release of energy.
Very genteel, very charming.
I have to admit, I had a struggle earlier this week, and we were talking about this offline before the series of shows. Not only did I have the wonderful gift of COVID given to me as a pre-show gift, I also had an opportunity for my growth where something happened with a dear friend, and I took it personally. Now, I'm going to share two quick little things about this. One, when you take something personally, I can't necessarily say anything good comes out of it. And so I may have had feelings of rage or confusion or hurt or any myriad of different ways that you might feel, right? And so later that day, I was talking to a friend of mine who practices non-dual tantra, among other things. And she told me a beautiful tantric philosophy, which was consciousness says yes to everything. And I thought that's so beautiful. What if, whether we're feeling rage, anger, hurt, sadness, what if we gave ourselves permission to vent it, feel it, dance it out? What would that look like? And there was a beautiful story I had read years ago from Don Miguel Ruiz and his book, Mastery of Love. I don't know if you've ever read, many people know his book, The Four Agreements, though Mastery of Love is also another worthwhile book to check out. And in it, he talked about how we all have this magical kitchen, right? And he shares a story of, imagine if you had a magical kitchen and you could have sushi, burritos, pizza, whatever you wanted, and somebody came knocking on your door and said, I'm going to tell you how to live your life and tell you you're worthless, and in exchange, I'm going to give you a free pizza every day for the rest of your life. What would you do? You'd say, I'm fine. I have a magical kitchen. No, thank you. However, what if you were starving? What if you were so hungry and you hadn't eaten for days or weeks, and somebody comes along and comes knocking on your door and says, knock, knock, knock. I have pizza. I'm going to give you pizza every day for as long as you want it. But in exchange, you have to give up your self-worth. You have to let me control you and tell you how to live your life. Well, what we do, we're starving. We might do that. And I say this story because in the story he says, well, actually, that magical kitchen is love. It's our heart. And we can create that for ourselves anytime we want, yet we often forget that we have this magical kitchen that is our heart, that can generate the love, the nourishment that we need at any moment. So I just wanted to put that out there as a beautiful reminder that the love that we give ourselves, it's free. We can do it any time, and we just need to, as everybody has mentioned so far, connect to that heart and that magical kitchen within us that creates that unconditional love.
Oh, thank you for that. Two things. Jennifer, I know that you had wanted to show about halfway through, and we're actually at the 2/3 mark, a video, The Temple of Love. So I can pull that up if you want to introduce it. And I just want to invite everybody, now we're in Q&A time. So if you are on Unify or Love Coach Academy Facebook, or if you are in our Zoom room, what are your questions or what are your thoughts, your comments? And maybe while we listen to the video, we can write in some questions and then come back with Q&A. Does that sound good, Jennifer? And you're muted.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about this video and the woman who created it.
Yeah, so this is another incredible healer on the platform named Tanya Smith, who is an incredible woman out of Tasmania, believe it or not, originally, and she does Tibetan sound soul healing. And what she did is she actually toured. She's a very famous musician out of Nashville now in the US, toured with Kylie Minogue, among other musicians around the world. And she wanted to offer this as her global launch and release of this song. So I don't know if we have time, Scott, because I know it's a 6-minute video to listen to the entire and watch the entire video. I know a lot of our panelists do have places to go. So maybe we could just hear a minute or two of the song to listen to the global launch of it.
You got it. Here we go.
For 100 lives, I could not find you. I knew your heart, touch your name. I searched eternity, thought you'd given up on me. You followed destiny to my door. Won't you come into the temple of love? Won't you come into the temple of love? Where life is everything you thought it should be.
All right. It's hard to end it 1/3 of the way through, but I think what's nice about it is it reminds us of what, I always love what Rumi called the eternal beloved, the search for the eternal beloved. As Yogananda said, everything can wait. Our search for God cannot wait. That's kind of what I'm getting from that music video, is a reminder to really, like Mark talked about, going into nature. So anyway, I know you wanted to play that, so I'll turn it back over to you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Scott. And I wanted to now turn it over to each of our panelists one by one. Mary Jo, I know there's a time constraint with you, so perhaps we could have you start by sharing first. I would love to have you share, what do we do if we find ourselves maybe in a lower vibration or frequency? Maybe we're going through anxiety or depression. And I know one of the hardest things that I hear from many people, many of the users on our platform and just friends and family, is that you can't seem to take the action when you're really paralyzed by stress or fear or anxiety. How do you even take that first little baby step in order to help yourself heal when it seems insurmountable?
Well, I think the key right there is one step towards. So I think it would be arrogant of me to say I know how. But what I do know to be true is when there's something I want more than what is, I will. So when I'm in that pain or I'm in that anxiety or I'm in that chaos, and even there, I guarantee there's a chance to hear. So as Nicole was talking about, like, and Marcus was talking about being out in nature, like in that silence where it can hear me without the distortion. Even anxiety is a distortion. You know, our brain is chemicals and our ego comes in because it wants us to survive. So one exercise I do with me is I have tea with my ego on a regular basis and thank it for doing its job of protecting me. And it's okay to retire. It's really okay to take up golf. And yes, I'm being a little funny right now, but it can feel like that. Sometimes I just need to have an air bubble of a little something in there to help me get past that. Like what I'm currently feeling right now is actually somehow me trying to protect me. But can I be still enough, long enough to say, do I want something beyond this? Because right now, this is all I can see. So what would be a step towards? Where would I want to go towards? And that one step would be towards it. So whether it is, the step is to rise up out of bed, because some people have struggled getting out of bed. That it would be, I would spend 30 seconds in front of the mirror and shift the way I've been talking about me and to me. That I would take one step to maybe reaching out to somebody I know that could support me and supporting myself. So when it comes down to what drives us, I really do feel like purpose drives us. So what's the purpose of, if I'm just trying to get out of where I am, I'm going to be more focused on where I am. But when I'm motivated about where I want to go or what I see as possible, that shift in, then there's a step towards something that will naturally take me away from, but my focus isn't getting away from here. My focus is getting to, and I point outward sometimes, and sometimes it's really getting to here. So I hope that answers that.
Thank you so much, Mary Jo. And Nicole or Mark, did you have any other thoughts that you'd like to add on to what Mary Jo just said as far as tools? Because I think we've all been there. We're human beings, right? And the struggle, as Mary Jo just so beautifully pointed out, is taking that first baby step and just having something bigger than the depression or the anxiety to pull you forward. Thoughts from either one of you?
Personally, a tool that I like to use anytime I feel myself or get too overwhelmed with things and too flustered and anxiety starts to build up, I stop immediately what I'm doing, close my eyes, and take 3 deep breaths. I try to get back to center. If that can't work, if I'm able to, I just go to sleep. I'll reset like immediately because I'm like, okay, this is too much for me to try to move through consciously. So let me rest my body. So then my mind can filter through what it needs to in a different state without the distractions around. And then when I wake up, I'm at a clear state. I'm at a more neutral state. So then I can choose at that timing how I want to associate with this energy. Not necessarily forgetting about it, but just changing your association with it. And sometimes you have to pause. You have to reset. You have to take a step back to reevaluate it in order to actually move forward through it. If that makes sense.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense, Marcus.
I love Mary Jo, by the way. You're my new best friend.
No, I've already got her.
Dibs, I had her first, but I'll share.
Hey, me too, me too.
A mutual love fest happening right here, right now.
Yeah.
I want to add on to what both of you have said because as we all might know here is that emotions are just energy, right? Emotions are a frequency, emotions are a vibration. Everything that we have here in front of us, from the chair, the nature, the building, it has a vibration. We have a vibration. And so generally when we're in that like lower vibration, or we're feeling not so good about ourselves, it is about or taking a step back, like what Mark was saying. So having a rest or a sleep or a nap, like I get put to a nap and I'm like, oh, why am I tired? All right, I'll just nap. Though the other ways, like if you're looking at emotions and feelings as just energy, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you kind of are taking that observer role, you're stepping away from it and not so much in it. This is a practice, okay? So be kind to yourself. But just like Mark said, to have a nap, mine would be the movement, right? So if you're seeing as an emotion as energy, shake, dance, jump up and down, run, swim, jump in the ocean, go to nature, anything, any small thing. Like even if it is just rolling out of your bed and crawling out of your house to lay on the grass, this is connection to nature, and this is going to change your vibration. So moving through, releasing, or connecting. That would be like if you're, and it's just a vibration. Okay, so that's it. It's just a vibration. So, and I got a big rush with that. So if someone needed to hear that, that's you.
Yes, thank you so much, Nicole. And Eleanor, it's so funny. Sorry, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it.
Eleanor?
Eleanor. I have a dear friend who's French named Eleanor, so I always mispronounce her name and call her Eleanor. Eleanor said also journaling can be very helpful too, and I find that as well. Thank you, Eleanor. It's a wonderful suggestion that you just put in the chat there. And so, Teresa, did you have something you'd like to add?
Yeah, there's one thing that I do that's really helpful for me. If I feel like I've gotten in my head, right? That's the thing, is I've got a story going on. I'm not in the present moment. Like it's spinning around the wreck or something. Or if I'm really wanting to show up in a really good way, I feel the bottom of my feet. And the moment that I feel the bottom of my feet, I'm not in my head anymore. And so just that one act, like, and then I get myself outside maybe, but even if I just feel the bottom of my feet for a moment, then I end up kind of in my belly. I kind of end up, how do I feel about this? Right? Because from my feet, I kind of move up, and then I can get to where I'm in my heart. And even just a few breaths from the feet up kind of changes my reaction to what's happening and turns it more into the opportunity for a response, right? And so then if it gets up to my throat, maybe I might say it differently, or I might listen differently. And so that's just something I do. Like if I'm in my head, I go to my feet, and it gives that pause that I need in order to show up with a choice instead of a reaction.
See, I think that's so great too, because physical sensations, even connecting to the breath, as Margaret says, like 3 breaths like that. And when we use our physical sensations, it reminds me I'm in this moment, not the one that was that I'm regretting or rehashing, not the one that's coming that I'm worried about. I'm actually in this one, which is where my power lives, because I don't actually have access to those. I'm building those. I'm digesting these and who I am right now. So the bottoms of the feet. And again, I love that so much, because I actually reach for, can I feel Mother Earth pressing up against my feet?
Yeah.
Like instead of me standing on her, can I feel her pushing up underneath me? Can I feel Father Sky like drawing my head upward? Like that physical sensation. If I can feel sunlight on my skin, I'm here, right now. And so thank you for that, because I do think in that swirl, and then of course I love you taking us through your path, bottoms of your feet all the way up. That's so good. I think we sometimes do forget most of what we're caught in isn't what's currently, it's what we're rehashing or forecasting. Thanks for that.
Beautiful. Well, as we are moving in towards the end of the show, Mary Jo, I'd love to have you, since you were just speaking, share maybe a closing thought or a wisdom that you would love to leave everybody who's here with us or watching the recordings with. And we can also, of course, put up your website, maryjolorei.com, and talk a little bit about your book, Practical Inspirations, and where people can buy it.
Okie doke. Of course, I immediately panicked and wanted to hit, exit meeting because I've got to be wise now, but I'm going to give it a go. Thank you for that. That's Practical Inspirations. Again, it's the book I wrote. It's where the bumper sticker meets the road. If you haven't guessed it already, I do think that joy and laughter is lubrication. We do not have to chafe so hard in our lives if we'd be willing to have that be more active. So I do have a little bit of fun with this about sometimes we do need to access all of our emotional body. So even in those moments, can we find that air bubble of joy to support us through that? The one thing is, I keep hearing this tapping on me, so I always trust that when it taps 3 times. There's a process that I want to just gift people with that I think is really valuable. And it's in order to listen to myself and be a forward-moving being, that I'm intentional in my transformation and my evolution, that there's 2 truths. There's small t truth and capital T truth. Small t truth is my truth in this moment, that I am generous with myself to listen. What is my truth in this moment? Even if I don't agree with it, even if it doesn't align with who I was born to be, that I don't have to worry about being petty about the fact that I reacted to a friend's reaction to me, like Jen shared so beautifully. Like my truth in this moment, if I can express that or connect to that, soon when that dust settles, I can hear, capital T truth, who I was born to be. Who I truly am, not in reaction to life, but who I am born to be. And that capital T truth is the truth I'm committed to living. So that transition, that permission that both are happening, is something I'd just like to leave everyone with, to explore that, to listen to yourself. If you were to give yourself the opportunity to hear yourself in this moment, what's true for me, knowing that it could shift another minute from now, and then come back to what's the truth that's consistent, that I'm willing to practice, put effort into, and keep reaching for. That is something that I think is valuable. And don't underestimate the healing power of your own touch. Your own warmth of your hand over your heart center. Let your heart be penetrated by the warmth radiating out of your palm at some point. It's just a reminder that, yeah, you actually have, each breath you breathe has the possibility of healing generations. So your own physical touch, like anoint yourself occasionally, bless yourself occasionally. You're the best one to do it. I know it. Try it. See if I'm right.
Thank you, my friend. We love you, and I know you are going to go back to your training of transforming the lives of young people, and we just love you so much, and sending you off with all your new besties are sending you love.
I can't wait to get together again. Thank you all.
Yeah, blessings to all of your
Thank you so
team.
much. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Mary Jo. And Marcus, I know you have a flight to catch, my friend, so I want to honor your time as well. Do you have any closing thoughts? And if we can put up Marcus's website, I believe it's metaphysicalmark.com, or we've also put his Om Heals page in the chat as well. So Marcus, what are your closing thoughts, my friend?
I just want to start off by saying thank you all for just joining us. Thank you all for the panelists. Thank you all for putting this together and taking the time, because it's so important, and it is reverberating throughout the entire space and time here in transforming people, even by association. So I just want to say thank you for that, and I love being a part of it. Just closing thoughts is basically, no matter where you're at, no matter what you think, there's always room for change and there's always room for growth. If you use that as your template, then you'll always be moving forward, steadily moving forward, even in those perceived setbacks. That's an opportunity for growth, opportunity for change, and it's opportunity to you to see yourself within the situation. So always look objectively, because that is where you find more truth and more light in any situation that you're in. And as Jennifer said, you guys can connect with me on social media, Facebook, Instagram as Metaphysical Mark. And my website is metaphysicalmark.com. You can find my books there. You can find, a newsletter that I do weekly for just inspiration, things going on in the cosmos. And you can find a lot of my free videos on my YouTube channel as well. It's just me just talking and letting source and spirit just move through.
Beautiful. There's a lot going on, everybody. So on his website, so do go to Metaphysical Mark And he spells it M-A-R-C,
Hmm.
M-A-R-C, metaphysicalmark.com. I just registered, and I'm looking forward to learning more from this beautiful man. So thank you.
Thank you.
We love you.
Love you guys too.
Mark,
Safe travels.
safe travels
Yes,
out to
thank you.
Houston, my
I want,
friend.
I want to go run around in nature with you. You and I would have
Yes,
so much fun. We would have so much fun.
I will be writing all of you guys after this. So just know that.
Oh, thank you so much, Mark. Much love to you, and a deep blessings to our friend Rev Reg. He's the one who brought us all together, so I appreciate him connecting you and I all those months ago. So safe travels to you. And Nicole, any closing thoughts from you, my friend?
Well, yeah, I feel like I've just made a new family. And Mark and Mary Jo, I've already started following you on Instagram, so sorry. Closing thoughts. I just want to send everybody out with love today. I think I said before, it doesn't matter where you are, right, on your spiritual path. And I love what Mary Jo and Mark have said as their closing remarks. And I think for me, all that we're here to do, it is just to walk our own path at our own pace, and like what Mark said about that, there is nothing that stands still. Everything is always changing, and so are you. And so with that, it is about understanding ourselves. And like Mary Jo was talking about, I feel like I'm just kind of given dinners here and I've just got to try and plate up dessert with this. But I think for the closing remarks for here, it is just more about trusting yourself, and building this relationship with self. We can so much focus on what is going on outside of ourselves, outside in the world, outside with our friends or family, and have these comments or conversations coming in and permeating our state of being. And so when we start to build up that self-trust and love, what comes through then is discernment, right? Where we're able to discern what is something that is helpful or harmful, whether we're being kind to ourselves or not. And I feel like self-love and self-trust is the key. And because the minute that you start to bring this through for yourself, it reflects then into your other relationships as well. And other people see that, I'm in Mexico, other people see that there is space and room for them to then step into self-trust and love too. You are that stone that is being thrown into the river, and that will reverberate through your community, where you are, where you live. Like, yeah, you can be the change. You are the change in wherever you are. So yeah, if people want to reach out the same, you can connect with me on Instagram. It's Nicole Loving Earth or Pathway to Divine. And the same, it's been such a pleasure and honor to be part of this. Yeah, let me say this in Spanish. Mi corazón está muy satisfecha, which means my heart is extremely satisfied. So thank you everybody for having me.
I think this might be a nice segue, Jennifer, because we can find Nicole on Om Heals, as well as, of course, Metaphysical Mark. So a reminder, everybody, that you're going to want to go to om-heals.com. And Nicole is one of the wonderful energy practitioners that you can find there. That's how you can create a session with her. And she's one of so many amazing practitioners. And just love to again give you a chance, Jennifer, to talk about Om Heals as I slowly scroll through all these amazing practitioners you've got in your organization.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to Nicole and Mark and all of the wonderful healers on the platform. This is really about them. We want every person in the world to have that personalized experience. We have found a way to algorithmically match people so that if you've ever had that experience where you've tried to do energy work or even work with a normal therapist, and maybe you just had that kind of icky feeling like this person just was not right for me, that's what we're preventing, is we're actually connecting you with the right energy healer for you. having talked to hundreds of energy healers around the world, they've even told me that energetically it can be challenging to go into somebody's energetic field if they're not aligned. And so what we do is you can either book somebody if you know you love Nicole or Mark. We have a coupon code called Awaken10, all in caps. I put it in the chat, or any of the other beautiful healers throughout the weekend. We had Maitreya and Sada on as well. As you saw, we have a plethora of them from many countries around the world, including India, Mexico, Morocco. I mean, you name it. We are just so blessed to have new healers joining us every day, and each one has their own special flavor of healing. So you can either go through the practitioner list and book one directly and use the coupon code, or answer the matching questions and get custom matched. We actually have another healer right now who is live with my colleague Moon in our clubhouse that we do every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and her name is Carrie. And so if you want to continue this conversation on energy healing, you can join our clubhouse room every Sunday or use the link I just put in the chat to hop in and catch the tail end of that. So I am just so blessed and honored. And Nicole, thank you again for the beautiful healing that you gave me right before we went live that allowed me to be in health and vitality despite the health opportunities I was having this weekend. And I just appreciate you and Teresa, my friend. I love you so much. I just am so thankful for the opportunities you've given me from day one when we connected, for the Coalition for Global Unity, and just the way you've invited me to play with you in the sandbox of consciousness together. I can't thank you enough. And Scott, for having me join you all weekend as well. I'm profoundly grateful, of course, to each and every one of you too who has joined us this weekend.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Mary Jo and Nicole and Mark. And it's been a really beautiful weekend. Teresa, are there any final thoughts you'd like to share? And then I do want to make a few Global Peace Tribe announcements about what's coming up this week.
We have our closing attunement, our closing with Khadijih, so
Right.
we'll remember to do that. I'm just going to say this is the first time I got to meet Mary Jo and Marcus and Nicole, and everything that you said, like you said, Nicole, is like you were speaking my heart, right? From different perspectives, these different parts of me, like with Mary Jo, like claiming that we really need to begin to stabilize our coherent presence on the planet as this gets crazier out there, and what a important thing for us to do for ourselves and to support others. And Marcus, he reminds me of myself hugging trees and walking through nature, and Nicole, that part of me that's so loving and so present to whatever's happening right there, listening and just sharing, so you were all part of my love speaking out loud, and I loved it. Thank you. It was just really nourishing for me. And Jennifer, of course, like I definitely want to support you to be the fullest that you're here to be, because you are a force of love. And you connect all the dots in the most simple and graceful ways. So yes, we are going to keep nourishing you.
Well, yes, everybody stick around because we do have Khadijih, and let me do the Global Peace Tribe announcements now, and then we can just kind of drift off into the ethers with Khadijih's meditation. So Tuesday is 02/22/22, and so there's a lot of events going on. And it starts off at 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern, with a synchronized meditation from the Ukraine with the beautiful peace troubadour James Twyman. Some of you last night saw my interview with him in the after show. And the world is right on the brink of war again, possibly a really big war. So it's really important for us to all be praying and meditating. So please, I'll certainly be there, and I hope to see many of you. And that's going to be carried on Unify. And again, I want to welcome all the people watching on Unify right now. Unify carries all of my shows. And Unify has another event later that afternoon. It's a a global peace meditation at 2:22 Pacific time on 22222. A whole lot of twos going on. So 9 o'clock in the morning with James, 2:22 in the afternoon. That's again Pacific time. Add the appropriate hours for people such well, we've got people from all over Europe, including, of course, our beloved Jennifer. And then in the evening, there's going to be a really special event put on by Christy Michaels, who is a big part of our Global Peace Tribe. And it's an annual event that she does. It's the Mary Magdalene Enlightened Partnership event. And here it is. Here's her website. All about enlightened partnerships. And of course, 222, the number 2, we think of partnering. And not just if you're single, but partnering with God, partnering with the divine, partnering with our family, partnering with each other. You know, all of us are part of this beautiful Global Peace Tribe. So you can join the Time for Enlightened Partnerships at Deeper Conversation, Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And then next week, we do it all again. I do 3 shows every weekend and have since the pandemic began. And it's a beautiful topic next weekend. Modern day mystics, intimate experiences with the divine. And we've got, you'll notice it's a real beautiful mix of people from many different cultures and races. And really, I believe everybody who hears my voice, whether you're watching live or the recording, you are a modern day mystic. And we all are learning how to dance with the divine. And so it's going to be beautiful. Kristen Hoffman will be playing music, and you're going to meet people from all over the world who are mysticos in very unique and wonderful ways. Next Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. And then the very last thing I want to remind everybody about is that spring is getting closer and closer. And I'm going to be doing a special event with my good friend Eden Amadora. We teach together. And we're going to be doing a spring renewal event, experiencing the renewal of body, mind, and spirit. And that's going to be on the first day of spring, Sunday, March 20th. That's what, about 5 weeks from now, I think? 2 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific, 5 Eastern. And if you register this weekend, we're going to send you 3 free gifts. They're all online videos that we've created for you. And you also get the early bird price. And again, our Global Peace Tribe, we're going to all gather. It's a Zoom meeting, so we'll be very interactive. And it's going to be a beautiful way to really start the spring season. So please do join us. And there you have it. There are the Global Peace Tribe announcements for today. And I'm going to, I guess, turn to Jennifer to introduce Khadijih.
Thank you so much, Scott, and thank you for all the hard work that you do to up-level the consciousness of humanity. I acknowledge you for all of your hard work, dedication, and you and your team and all the things that we'll never know that you do to bring this to the world and to shine your light so brightly. So thank you, Scott, to you and Deborah Giusti and all of your behind-the-scenes team again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deep blessings. And without further ado, what a perfect way to culminate this entire weekend of healing from the inside out, connecting to the beauty, health, wholeness, and divinity in each and every one of us. I couldn't think of a better voice, a better way to do so than our beloved Khadijih. As we hand it over to you, my friend, I just want to acknowledge you again. As somebody, I personally love meditating. I meditate sometimes 3 to 5 times a day, at least once a day. And your meditations this weekend have been some of my favorite that I've ever experienced. And I can't wait to see you continue to flourish and to reach the millions and millions of people that I know your heart, mind, body, spirit, and voice are going to reach with your beautiful meditations. So sending you so many blessings as you continue with this launch.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jennifer. It has been such an honor to be here this weekend. I just joked with Scott on Friday that yesterday that I've been manifesting this for a while, and I really have. First time I joined Saturday Night Alive, I said I'm going to be there one day. And so to be here on this weekend feels so divine and precious. And so And I just feel so honored. And I just want to thank everyone who takes a part in this and who joins, and Teresa and Scott and Jennifer, all that you did to put into this to make it possible. So our closing attunement it'll be shorter. I recognize the time. I want to honor everyone's time. And we're just going to really go back into that quiet space. And then somewhere near the end, I have a Native American prayer for healing that I'd like to share with everyone. And so I'm just going to invite us all to just come back inside the body, closing the eyes and bringing that awareness back inside that inner body. Feeling your breath deepen, soften, and feeling the natural relaxation with your body take place as you breathe. Bringing this awareness back into the heart and connecting with that sacred space within your being. Feeling the precious beating of your beautiful heart. Feeling the presence of your beautiful spirit. Feeling the expansion of your heart as you breathe. And relaxing just a little more into this moment. And gently drawing your awareness down from the heart through your body to your feet. Feeling the presence of your feet on whatever surface they rest upon. And visualizing the tree roots growing out of your feet and merging down deep beneath our beautiful mother. Connecting you and rooting you, grounding you with the healing energy of Mother Gaia. With each deep breath, breathing in this energy of the earth and feeling the expansion of your own heart, of your own beautiful being. Feeling nourished in this moment and held by the divine. And in this space, I'm going to share with you a Native American prayer for healing. And as you hear these words, allow the vibration of the words to resonate throughout your entire being, feeling held and safe. Mother, sing me a song that will ease my pain, mend broken bones, and bring wholeness again. Catch my babies when they are born. Sing my death song and teach me how to mourn. Show me the medicine of the healing herb, the value of spirit, the way I can serve. Mother, heal my heart so that I can see the gifts of yours that can live through me. Just breathing this prayer, breathing this prayer into your body, into your spirit. Holding this prayer and this healing energy from our beautiful mother in your heart and your body as you gently begin calling your awareness back to your physical space. Letting your hands and feet wiggle about and integrating this new healing energy through your whole body. And when you're ready, and when you feel called, you may open your eyes and return to your physical space. Namaste, everyone.
Bless your heart.
Oh, so beautiful, Khadijih. Thank you. Oh, look at your doggy.
Put
Aw.
links in the chat for Khadijih's website, and she's doing a 7-day meditation challenge starting next Monday. So if you feel like you want to stay in this energy that we, generated over the entire weekend, and you want to what I really want to go deeper in my practice. What a great time to do that. So yeah, looking forward to it, Khadijih. And I put the links in the chat there. And
And for anybody
Khadijih does
watching on,
meditations every Friday. You can join. There's always something Khadijih has to offer to the community. Yeah.
and for those who are watching on Facebook, it's journeyintothesoul.com. Journeyintothesoul.com. Beautiful title for a website.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for
Yep.
this weekend in whatever way that you did, and for relaxing together into how we can heal from the inside out, and for having these moments where the awakening world is what we're experiencing together, that we're really letting ourselves get saturated in this vibration, and then that helps us as we kind of go out into the world. And yeah.
There is a message that I want to read to Khadijih that just came in on Unify from Tam Jewel. She says, "Thank you so much, Khadijih, for your attunements. My older cat, for the first time after having seizures daily, hasn't had any this weekend. He's listening with me here, purring loudly, listening to you. Something she hasn't done since these spells began. So thank you."
Mm,
I'm so glad I happened to see that before we got offline. So
thank you.
isn't that beautiful?
It was so beautiful. Thank you.
All right. God's blessings, everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sacred Sunday. I love our Global Peace Tribe that are here with us. Everybody, thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see everybody on Tuesday for some of the 222 events. God blessings, everybody. Take care.